Welcome to The Cause Effect with your host, Carl Kozlowski, and his team of correspondents bringing you the world's bad news badly. And now, Carl Kozlowski. And greetings. Welcome to another edition of The Cause Effect, and where we bring you each week's news, the bad news badly, or in a funny way. That's more like it. Anyways, I'm Carl Kozlowski, and I am coming to you as the moderator from the libertarian wildness of the Rand Paul era. And then bringing with us the rest of our panel this week is from the left, the black voice of reason, Tymon Shipp.
Hey, power to the people. Where are the black folks at the Oscars? Where they at? White people done did it to us again, man.
They'll Hosting.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Rock.
Thank you for our one token black man that you give us for today.
I'm sure they'll also be present as ushers.
Yeah, that's right. Yowza, yowza,
And let's
yowza.
not forget the valuable services of the bathroom men.
Yeah,
And
So-
the seat fillers.
All right. Well, that's the bathroom man. No, so
Different seats.
No Indians, I know.
All right. And this week, sitting in for our right wing attack dog, Ari David, is Mr. Thierrion Kagan. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right. So, and just to introduce yourself to our listeners, you're a comic as well, or
Yeah, I do stand-up comedy in the area, and my politics are conservative, largely because I just can't stand progressivism. I mean, there's nothing about conservatism that.
Just progress is bad.
Yeah, well, no. Calling it progressivism is the problem, it's because diseases are progressive as well, you know what I mean?
Whoa, okay.
Whoa.
And we're off to the races. And also from the left on the phone, calling in, you'll be hearing a rant from him as well, our weekly burst of Durst. It's five-time Emmy-nominated comic and genius legend, Mr. Will Durst. How you doing?
Yeah, five-time Emmy nominee, but never won anything.
That's 5 more Emmy nominations.
Not
than the
even a
rest of our
toaster. Something, you know?
We got some lovely parting gifts for you.
Did you run against
Simon,
any
tell him what he's won.
But did you run against any black people?
Yo-ho!
Okay, anyways, and then also finally from the left, also our esteemed news joke writer extraordinaire. He's liberal, but he's funny. Dr.
Not
David
mutually
Robinson.
exclusive, Carl. Thank you very much, though. A lot of stuff going on in the news this week. I keep trying to explain that to him. Well, it's very difficult. Russian President Vladimir Putin said this week that he's willing to grant Syrian President Bashar al-Assad asylum, but only if Assad agrees to co-star in a reality TV version of The Odd Couple with Edward Snowden. I think it'd be a fun show to watch. Putin also said this week that Russia has developed the world's most effective Ebola drug, despite the fact that most doctors still don't consider bullets to be drugs. The Australian agency that's searching for Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 found the wreckage of a ship from the 1800s, which the Russians are also denying that they shot down. So, purely innocent in that. A British soldier was fined 1,000 euros for trying to smuggle a 4-year-old Afghan girl into Britain. The man admitted that while rescuing the girl was an honorable thing to do, he probably shouldn't have asked the shelter to spay her while they were at it. Closer to home, there is a high surf alert for Southern California beaches today, so if you're going to the beach, be on the lookout for high surfers. President Obama had an empty chair at this year's State of the Union address to honor everyone who's been killed by gun violence, as well as to give Clint Eastwood somebody to talk to. I don't know if anyone caught the State of the Union or the response, but the Republican response to the State of the Union was slightly delayed. It seemed like there was a longer pause between the two than usual. Turns out party insiders were vetting the speech just one more time to make sure they got all the N-words out of the final draft. After insulting the city during the Republican debate, Ted Cruz is now saying that when he mentioned New York values, he was just referring to all the great bargains he found at Brooklyn Flea. If I can just interject for a moment, as someone who is born and bred Jewish, I'm agnostic, but I still consider myself Jewish. I'm sort of upset by this whole thing. I remember when New York values used to just be code for Jews. It's like I feel like we're losing out on some of the racism that we've attracted for so many years. It's slightly upsetting. California has rejected a recall plan proposed by Volkswagen after their diesel cars were found to have software that allowed them to cheat emissions tests. Former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger says the state shouldn't settle for anything less than a total recall. Now available on Blu-ray and DVD. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan this week said that he's stopped referring to Americans as, quote, makers and takers, unquote, after it was pointed out to him that despite the best efforts of the Republican Party, the takers are still allowed to vote. Can't insult him anymore. Vice President Biden revealed this week that President Obama offered him money to help during his son's battle with cancer, leading many people to wonder what Obamacare package Vice President Biden signed up for. It's a nice personal touch there. A New York cabbie was fined for picking up a white passenger after refusing to pick up a black man who turned out to be Today's Show weatherman Al Roker. While the cabbie says he accepts the fine, he insists that race had nothing to do with it. He just doesn't like Al Roker. A judge ordered the city of Chicago to release a tape of Chicago police shooting Cedric Chapman this week. But because the judge wasn't specific about the format, the city plans to release the video on Betamax and Laserdisc. Harder for people to watch it that way. South Carolina Senator... Thanks, Will. South Carolina Senator and one-time presidential candidate Lindsey Graham announced that he's endorsing Jeb Bush for president, which just might be the final nail in the coffin for the Bush campaign. You know, it's funny. I posted that on Twitter, and I had like rabid, crazy-ass right-wingers retweeting me and liking it, and it's...
Redundancy there.
Well, right, but it frightens me when like those people are agreeing with you. Maybe you did something wrong. That's just kind of the way. Frightens me. Fox News, speaking of frightening, Fox News gas bag Bill O'Reilly said this week that if Bernie Sanders is elected president, he's going to flee to Ireland, leaving Sanders supporters to ask Hillary Clinton supporters, now will you vote for Bernie? A judge lowered affluenza mom Tanya Couch's bail from $1 million to $75,000, saying that he just felt the high dollar amount was giving her an overinflated sense of self-worth. Seems to be a problem in that family. All up in your business news, I heard the Perrigo company is recalling 2 flavors of their children's cough syrup, which is totally different from hearing your college roommate recalling his experiences with cough syrup. Not nearly as much fun. Chipotle is closing all of its stores for several hours on February 8th for a company-wide meeting about food safety. In the food safety meetings, Texas Chipotle employees will also be taught how to stop a bad burrito with a gun. Food safety.
February 8th? Why don't they do it now?
You're kidding, man.
What if you get sick between now and February 8th?
Well,
do it Monday.
That's not going to be considered disease. That's value added.
I think Chipotle should frankly just rename itself In and Out. It's like, fuck the Subway diet. I want to have the Chipotle diet. You'll lose weight guaranteed.
Yeah, just walk to the Chipotle and spend the rest of the day in your bathroom.
And hopefully no child porn.
Oh.
Okay, turning to science, scientists now believe that the Milky Way grew from the inside out, but say they have yet to determine which came first, the nougat or the caramel. Doctors in the UK say that people should limit themselves to 14 drinks a week, except during football season, which in England traditionally runs from mid-June through the end of May. Temperance people, that's what we're talking about.
Mid-June through the end of May, that's brilliant.
Well, you know, if you're going to be healthy, 2-week window is a good place to start. Researchers have used nanotechnology to develop a new lithium-ion hoverboard battery that won't catch on fire. Unfortunately, that means that hoverboard riders also won't catch on fire. Doctors say the smell of your urine could be used to help diagnose Alzheimer's disease. Also, it could be used to help you get your very own seat on the bus.
Ooh-ah.
No bus riders here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who gets his own seat on the bus all the time? The guy who smells like pee.
So that's why.
Yeah, that might have something to do with it, Carl.
That's why I always go.
Right. A new study says that lack of sleep increases the risk of strokes for the elderly, while younger people say that stroking it usually helps them get to sleep.
Works for me.
Used to work for me. I'm too old for that.
Looking at entertainment, former model Jerry Hall is now engaged to Fox News founder Rupert Murdoch, which makes me regret replying, well, why don't you marry him, when Jerry Hall told me she loved golden raisins. The Playboy Mansion has hit the real estate market with an asking price of $200 million. No word yet on whether that price includes disinfectant.
I had a joke on that also, but I guess it was coincidental. I did mine about does it include Lysol?
Yeah, it's, man, we'll talk after the show. I used to work there, and
we have.
well, yeah, that's why I moved out to L.A. I had worked for Playboy Corporate in Chicago, and they moved me out here to be one of Hef's assistants.
What the fuck happened? Why are you still there?
Horrible pay, job conditions, and yeah, just general wackiness. But
just like everywhere else.
I would give people tours of the grounds, and about half of the tour was spent saying, "Don't touch that." Oh, is it delicate? Is it an antique? It's like, no. I mean, you're allowed to touch it. You probably just don't want to.
So it's not a place you want to take a tour with a black light.
Definitely not. Not unless you're a Jackson Pollock fan.
That's a racist. Black lights matter.
Very nice, Carl. Take a lap, victory lap on that one. Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus announced this week. Yeah.
No, Will, I don't think I can make it to 2. You haven't met me yet. I'm pretty big.
I read a half a lap.
Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus announced this week that it will retire all touring elephants by May, saying that they're making the announcement now because they want to give the elephants time to pack their trunks.
Hello.
Yeah, gotta throw the dad jokes.
Somewhere there's
in
a
there
Republican
sometimes.
joke in there too, but anyway.
Yeah, but
I'm
I'm going to give them a rest. Give them a rest for now. Major record labels are looking at sales figures for David Bowie's final album, Black Star, asking how they can get more of their artists to die 2 days after releasing an album.
That's a racist.
Oh, boy. After winning the Golden Globe for Best Comedy last weekend, people were shocked when The Martian wasn't named State of the Union. 15 people were killed in a suicide bomb attack at a Pakistani vaccination center, prompting Jenny McCarthy to say, "See, I told you the vaccines are bad for you." Asked about Jimmy Fallon's possible drinking problem this week, NBC exec said he doesn't have a drinking problem. He's got a problem with cocaine.
Ooh.
Big difference.
Wow. Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, whatever. Fox announced that they're rebooting the series 24, but rather than starring Kiefer Sutherland, they're hoping to cast a diverse actor in the lead role. And I, for one, can't wait to see an elderly Mexican woman on TV battling terrorists. It's going to be an awesome show. 24, La Abuelita. After her husband died of cancer earlier this week and her brother was diagnosed with terminal cancer, scientists say they now believe that Celine Dion may contain chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer. And finally, really, my heart will go on to her, out to her.
Well, her husband's heart didn't go on. But.
Yeah, no. There's so much creepiness involved with that, too, that we can talk about later. But finally, after undergoing emergency colon surgery in Nashville earlier this week, country music legend Mel Tillis said the CMAs are a load of bullshit and Kenny Rogers faces a plastic surgery disaster. Doctors say that Tillis is in critical condition. I am Dr. David Robinson. I support this message. That was the week we were, where we don't make the news, we just make it memorable.
Yay. And now your weekly burst of
Thank you
Durst.
very much.
Which sounds so gross, but it's so good.
Yeah, really.
1 moment. Damn it, play. Hello? Okay.
No, play it at the end.
Here we are.
Oh, we could play it at the end.
Here we
Oh.
Hey guys, Will Durst here with a few choice
Turn it up.
President Obama's final State of the Union address.